Hey, Matilda, 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 she take me money and run Venezuela.
In the film, we see such an extraordinary scope, the range of the activism that you've been doing over these decades, and the powerful way that you chose to use your platform as a popular entertainer.
I was an activist before I became an artist, and I was very fortunate to come upon a group of practitioners in the arts who were deeply committed to social cause.
One of the striking things is that Harry Belafonte narrates your own life in your own voice. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about that choice and what the payoff is. What do you lose and gain in terms of intimacy versus objectivity?
When Harry approached me with the idea of this project and putting it together, I said that what I really wanted to do, and what would interest me most, is to make the film feel like a journal. I wanted to give more of the feel of history rather than the fact of history, and so this was a very good device to do that because it gives you an automatic intimacy. You enter the story, you're invited in to live the story along with Harry. I find that more engaging than just presenting a lot of facts. And because I really wanted to gear this to a young audience and to inspire young people, I thought this made it much more accessible, so it wasn't just a history lesson.
There are a lot of coincidences and instances where people suggested that I should tell the story of my life. And I was hugely suspicious of that. And the only way I could tell that story was to be able to find those who still lived, who experienced what we all experienced together, and tell it through that kind of a Rashomon experience. We were all there, we all saw exactly the same thing, but we came away with different impactations, different interpretations. And getting that collective of voices to tell the story of our time took the onus of the personal, look what I did aspect of storytelling, and look rather at look what happened to me during this journey, and look whom I met now, and look what that moment in history did. The depth of that substance in the piece was where Suzanne's vision as an editor found nuggets that I had not even realized we had captured on film and we found in the archives.
Like, how did you dig up this footage and how did you get to use it?
The whole film was really an attempt to find images that we haven't seen before, that were not the familiar. We were very lucky in doing that. And Harry also had in his own archives a lot of it unbeknownst to him.
Well, in the 50s, it wasn't exactly common to have a black male, sex symbol on TV. How did you get away with that? Or, how do you explain it?
What I did do was to try to reveal through my artistic choices our commonality, our sensibility, our likings of the same thing. So if I sang a song about my child, and the song lyrically was deeply moving, the melody was really quite attractive, people were seduced by the material, and then had to deal with the afterthought, he's black.
You mentioned a distinction between the kind of protest that's just letting off steam and the kind that actually contributes to making change. And in that context, I wonder what you think about the Occupy movement, or where else you may be seeing effective activism nowadays.
I'm very much attracted to the Occupy movement because so much in it is familiar to the history I have been privileged to live. Most of the activists in that film were teenagers. And we did pretty much the same things that were being done on Occupy Wall Street. And we heard pretty much the same criticisms. And I look now, and what delights me about Occupy Wall Street, the beginning of a presence that reveals a social anger. Dr. King often said, do not be ashamed of your anger. As a matter of fact, it's one of the most important ingredients we have, because without anger, you don't have the need to rebel. And rebellion needs anger. But it's what you do with it. And what we chose to do with it was to use the tools of nonviolence to engage the difficulties we were facing. And it worked, and it still works. The application of the instruments of the state, therein lies the rage, therein lies the violence. And if the state elects to use violence to oppress, then all we can do is to more vigorously apply nonviolence as the solution.
That's a rousing challenge. We will, each inspired in his way from your example and from the film, will find that assignment, I hope. Susanne Rostock and Harry Belafonte and all of you, thanks very much.
When she gets the sensation, up in the air and down in slow motion, jump in the line, rock the body in time. Okay, I believe you, jump in the line, rock the body in time.